Hi everyone, it's Pedro Baez from Go for Glory Stable. Today is April 13th, 2026, and this is the update for last week. Um, we did not have an update last week or a video update. We just had an email update. Just a lot going on. So some of you may or may not know I had my third child, Gabriella, on the day after April Fool's. Thank goodness. Thank goodness it wasn't April 1st, it was April 2nd. And so yeah, things have been a little hectic. And then we had the Easter holidays on last Sunday. But hopefully we're getting back into a rhythm here. As you all, a lot of you have had children before, so you know the you know uh the routine, in the first couple of months when that child's born. But it's all good. We still got horses racing. We got yearlings, not yearlings. We got babies moving along, and we got 3-year-olds coming back. With that being said, we're gonna jump into it. So just some news overall with the barn. Uh, so a couple things. So the first thing is Big Z outing. So it's getting nicer out. As you can see, I got my Go for Glory t-shirt on. So it's getting a little nicer out, and we were gonna schedule a Big Z outing. We're gonna call it like breakfast with the babies even in April, but it's not looking like April's gonna be a good time. It's just kind of crazy right now because Rob's getting ready for he got a lot going on over there, a lot going on, and he got Tioga starting up, and he has a whole fleet of horses he sends up there. So it's probably going to be at some point in May. So at some point on, it's probably going to be a Saturday in May. So just letting you all know, a Saturday in May that we'll schedule a Big Z outing. Kind of similar as usual. We'll see if we'll make any twists or changes to it, but same thing where you can jog your horses. A bunch of the owners come and we just kind of hang out, have bagels, coffee, juice, snacks, cake, and it's actually kind of fun. For me, it's like an hour and 45 minutes to get there. So it actually, you can see all the horses, and I actually like it. I kind of hang out. I just hang out, talk to everyone, and then usually I stop at like a restaurant or something on the way back. And so yeah, so that will be keep that in your minds. At some point, one of these Saturdays in May, we will look to have a Big Z. It could be June, but hopefully May. We'll look to have a Big Z outing again. It's been a while, and the weather's getting nicer. I think last year we might have done it in like March, I want to say, and it was freezing. But this year, obviously, like I mentioned earlier, there's a lot of stuff going on with me, so uh, uh, it'll probably be May would be a little easier right now. So easier for Rob and even Charlie. He's got some things going on too. So keep that in mind. Um, that's the Big Z outing. March statements, those are in process. We just got our last vet bill came in today, or came in last night. So once we get that included, we can start kind of getting those puppies together. So that's the March statements. We had a really good March, by the way. Um, really good March. It was like the light switch. It was like a light switch. I don't know. It's just how the game goes. We try and tell you, you gotta look at every year like a year. Don't look at it every week. You can't look at your stats every week. You gotta look at it in the whole year. And yeah, March was incredible. It kind of like brought us back to where we should be, put it that way, from stats wise. And the horses really were a lot of fun. So um, that's the statements, and then new horses. So. We are kind of, like I said, a little bit behind on getting some things communicated out. So we got new horses. So some of you know already because you guys are very sharp and keep your ears to the ground. But so we do have two new horses that we just have not communicated out yet, and it's not on the website yet. We have one horse called Checking Out the Talent. He is a Australian import who's racing in the opens over there in Australia, and he might the earliest he might be shipped here is Friday. So meaning he'll arrive, somewhere around 18th or 19th. It takes like, believe it or not, it takes like 24 hours to get here or 28 hours. So it's really long shipping. So he earliest he might be shipped here is 17th, or it might be the 19th or 22nd, 23rd around there, but hopefully it's 17th. So his name is Checking Out the Talent. We will get him communicated. He was just like all these Australian imports. Um, they're kind of like I look at it like almost like a mini baby game. because you have to pay a lot for them. So he was 59,000, so he'll be $590 per share, which is similar to what it costs to for most of these down under imports. And uh, it's one of those things where you're hoping that he can be a really nice horse, and there's no reason why not. So we'll get into him in more detail, either when we announce him in the email that we do, or on the website. But I looked at every single replay. One of the owners in the Go for Glory, he's big into shipping in down unders, important that he's been doing it for years successfully. And he looked at every single replay. He thinks this horse has got a chance to be really good. He's got a lot of speed, gets around a half. Um, I think he's from He's Watching, who's legit USA sire, and yeah, he's has heart. He always finishes, and yeah, so there's no reason why he can't be a good racehorse. So that's one horse. He's kind of like our the big boy, where we try and do those like one or two a year. So just because, like I said, the upside is really good. You can really get lucky with those and be like, wow, this thing turns into like an open horse. Not saying he will, but I'm saying you can get luck. The upside is there where you never know how good they might be over here because the racing is different. So that's one horse. We got another horse that we bought for a lot cheaper than that, for 22,000, and he has one of the worst names imaginable, but he's actually a really good horse. So his name is Uncle Rat. Yes, I said Rat, Uncle Rat. It's a funny name. It's like when I saw the name, I was like, man, they really couldn't think of a better name than that. That's like the worst name ever. But you can't change the name because once they start racing, they're kind of stuck with that name. So we're stuck with it. But I don't think the horse knows what his name is. Maybe he does, maybe he doesn't. But I'm sure Charlie will think of a nice, a nice, better name, nickname than Uncle Rat or Rat Man or something like that. But he's actually pretty good. So he's shipping in. He shipped in a few days ago from Ohio. He was racing really tough in Miami Valley and Dayton, and he's in Big Z. He's in the barn, and he is in Conrad DePoggio's old stall, and he'll be in the box on Wednesday for Monday at Saratoga. So he only has, I think, 5 parimutuel wins, so he still fits pretty low. Can get around a half, get around 5/8, really good, and there's no reason why he can't do a mile either. So, um, 4 years old, so we want to try to get him as young as possible. So he's 4 years old, so there's still upside. And like I said, he's he's I think he I think he's been top three this year in 11 out of 12 races. It's like ridiculous. He's um he's really got some good upside. So we're looking forward to him, and yeah, we're gonna like I said, he's gonna be racing in the box on Wednesday, racing on Monday, and he's 22,000. So that's what was that around 220 ish per share. Um, and then so yeah, so that's it. So that's as far as the overall news. We will get that communicated and get that on the website as soon as possible. All right, now let's get to the horses. So we're gonna do the Paul Kelley update first, and let's jump with the Paul Kelley update. So the Paul Kelley update, all the babies um, have done basically a similar speed as the previous week. I can't remember what it was. It was like it's like what Paul said. He's not he's not pushing them hard anymore. So I think they've been in like 220 they've just been doing their double headers, which is pretty much building endurance. So they're doing well. Um, uh, Coach Brooks, he's still just jogging, but like I talked to Paul about him also. Paul said he's really not concerned with him. He's really not concerned. So he's like anybody who's I think I wrote that email update last week with about 2 hours of sleep. So anybody who's a little bit skittish on Coach Brooks, just hang in there. That it's normal. It's very normal for babies to have like a little bit of a soreness somewhere. And it's not like he's shut down. Like if he was like shut down, that would have been a different story. He ain't shut down. Um, he's just jogging, and then Paul just want to give that knee a little bit more time to grow and develop. That's it. So he's doing fine. The baby's doing fine. All right, and then now let's get to the 3-year-olds. Let's just jump to. I'll do second chapter first, and then we'll get to Geologic and Adios who qualified. Second chapter, he's still jogging, but you know, different to, Coach Brooks just has a little soreness in his left front knee. So that's, that's you can grow out of that. You can get medication for that, things like that. Second chapter is different. His gait is a little wonky right now. And so he's still taking the EPM medicine, but he's taking a brand called Marquis. Marquis is one of the number one, well, is the number one brand of EPM medicine that the industry uses. And and but Paul was talking to Linda Toscano. Linda Toscano's a premier baby trainer. She's down in Sunshine Meadows also. Paul talks to her every single day, and they're just bouncing around ideas of EPM and dealing with EPM types things. And she actually uses a different medication than Marquis. I forgot the name. It's like a like Propozil or Prozapol, something like that. Starts with a P. And I'm sure someone here who's a horseman will know exactly what I'm talking about. But it's um supposedly one of the top stars in the game. Supposedly he had it, and or he had some type of EPM issues, and when he was given that medication, he completely changed him. So it does take like a month for it to kick in. So, but what Paul said he's going to do is he said he's going to hit him with a double dose of it for the first 5 days, and then Paul's hoping to check in with him in like 2 weeks, and then kind of like start trotting him, making him trot and just see if he starts seeing some improvement. Because that's what Linda said with Walner was he was awful gated. He was awful gated, and then once she gave him this treatment, it was like night and day. All of a sudden, he was trotting fine, like perfectly, and he became a world champion. Or you know, he's amazing. So once again, not saying this is going to be the ironclad and the golden answer to everything, but that's Paul. Paul really wants to give this a shot, and he said, like I said, he said probably let's just wait 2 weeks. So thinking end of April. Just to kind of end of April, Paul will probably check him out and just give him a good run, see if he's responding better from that medication versus the you know tried and true EPM medication that the industry uses. So that's second chapter. So he's still kind of moving along with his thing, and he was an $85,000 yearling with his full sister is a killer. So it's worth it's worth just going through this and just kind of, make sure we exhaust all our options before we, eventually, hopefully we don't have to, but, before we like pull the plug and have to sell him or something like that. So it's better to just, we invested a lot in him already. We're ready. I don't even know how long, 2 years in, a year and a half in. So let's just hang in there a little bit longer and let's hope that this medication works. And, hopefully we see some results. So that's second chapter. And so we just gotta wait another pretty much 2 weeks before we can kind of see where he's at with that new medication. All right, Geologic and uh and Adios My Lindy. Let's just pull up their lines because we don't have replays over here. And starting off with Adios. Well, let's start off with Geologic because we'll start with Adios Monthly. She's up top. So she went in 58. She went in about a minute and two. She went about a minute and two. Uh, let's see, a minute and two. So about, what is that? 57. I don't know how Bob Fidanza here to fact check me. Minute and two, 57 and three back half. So, the back half wasn't exactly, um, flying. So, but I think she went 2 minutes last week. And the big thing here with Adios Marlindi is Wally said she was really good. So basically, what happened is, if you see here, she started off 7 lengths behind. Basically, these two horses, which by the way, these two horses are killers. These two horses had their nose in the gates, and they just blasted off. They just blasted off, and so they blasted off the gate, and Wally just took her off slowly. So right off the bat, she was hanging up behind them by like 7 lengths. You know, and he never really asked her too much. She just finished well. And Wally and Paul, they said they like her. So, there's a -2 variant here. So you can see here the allowance of this -2 variant. The track condition's good. So what that means is, you know, they're projecting that this 58 is more like a 56, which if it's a 56, that's pretty good for a mile. That's really good. Solid. Not saying it's Grand Circuit or anything, but solid. And but yeah, so Adios, she was uh Paul and Wally were happy. The most important thing is she trotted because if she breaks like she was doing last year, we can't make any money with her. So um she's now trotting, and that's the most important thing right now. She will be on the truck Friday, 17th, going to Kentucky with Paul, and they're going to give her another qualifier, her and Geologic, another qualifier. I want to say next week. So she'll be in the truck 17th. So I want to say at some point next week or the week after, they'll give her a qualifier over there at Oak Grove. And yeah, and then we'll just kind of see how she goes. But she was solid. So she was solid. The key to remember is that these two horses, that horse, Mother's Money, that's the horse that was racing against Geologic that broke. Remember that horse is 1 to 9 every time versus Geologic, and then he all of a sudden broke twice in those races. So he's a extremely good horse in Mother's Money. So there's no issue, there's no harm at all, losing to that horse. And the Tactical Money is a 4-year-old now, and she might be a graduate type mare, trotting mare. She was a killer. So yeah, these two horses, it says 55 and 255. Yeah, they probably if you do the allowance, they went in 53 and change. That sounds about right. They should be going about 53 and change. With the horses that good. If Adios is going to 56 on a fair track, okay, solid. It's solid. And as long as she stays trotting, we can make money and you know, get her rolling. Remember last year, it doesn't matter, how fast she is last year. She kept breaking so much, what doesn't matter. So that's Adios. So we'll see where kind of how things keep progressing with her. But Wally and Paul were they said they're very happy with her. So they liked her a lot. All right, Geologic down here. He went in, looks like he basically just, so the way it worked is Corner Store was driven by Linnea, that's Paul's other horse, and she just got to the front, and Geologic, which is with Wally, which is right behind her the whole time, and Wally never asked. Well, first of all, Corner Store is a monster, so I think she has like a Massachusetts track record as a 3-year-old trotting filly, so she's a monster. So there's no harm coming in, whatever we came in versus her. But Geologic was just following her the whole time, and Wally never even asked him. He was just following the whole time. So he went in 101 first half, and then another 54 and change, 54 and 4 back half. So he just proved that last week was no fluke. I think last week he went in 54 and 2 or something, and now he went in 54 and 4. So he that shows last week was no fluke. That he's got some serious pop to him. Um, and so he was good. So Geologic was good. Now he still is he the number one horse in the industry as a 3-year-old? No, probably not. But Paul still thinks he should still be able to compete in that Oak Grove race, one way or the other. Um, so that is. And by the way, Corner Store 6-pack, 7-Eleven, Chapter 7. This monster we just talked about. That's the full sister to Seven Seagrams. So just keep that in mind. The full sister to Seven Seagrams is Corner Store. Um, and, anyway, so Geologic, he's bona fide. He just backed it up that what he did last 2 weeks ago was not a fluke, and they will both be in the trailer driving 900 miles to Kentucky on Friday, and qualifying again over there somewhere either next week or the week after that. So that's those two. They're doing well. And I think that covers it for Paul. Think that covers it for Paul. Uh, yes, I don't think I think we got everything. Oops, what's that? I think we got everything. And all right, moving on to Rob Harmon's barn. So let's just so for Rob Harmon's barn, the first thing I'm going to start with the babies first because they all have the same exact update. So um, the babies, meaning Beetlejuice, Seven Seagrams, Solar Queen, they all went in 224 last week. So they all went in 224 last week. Um, Rob said he got a video. I actually have to message him to see if I can get that video of them working. But yeah, 224 and a half miles, excellent. 224 half miles, excellent. I asked Rob, I said, is there any drama? Any type of like issues or drama so far? Yeah, I probably jinxed the crap out of it by asking him that, but um, I was just curious because he hasn't really, he's just been saying they're moving along, and he said no. He said no. They get to the track. He asked them to go a little faster. They go a little faster. So, um, keep our fingers crossed. All three doing well. 224 last week, and moving along. So, those are Rob Harmon's babies. Uh, let's go on to the next one. Beaueastel. Um, well, what I think. Let's see. Let's quickly do his. Let's see. Did he race last? Yeah, Bowie's. So we had a lot of fourth and fifth places last week, um, which we were due for. When the clip we were on, I think in March we were on an insane clip. I mean, we were like hitting. It was like one or two almost every single race. That is not normal. That is not normal. I mean, we just were like it's like a baseball team. We were or a sports team. We just got really hot, really hot. So all right, let's do Bowisto. He was at the seven post last week at Poconos, and this thing's taking a while to load. He's over here on the outside seven. And to me, this is really like his first race because the previous race, all these horses were breaking around him, and he was a million lengths behind, and they didn't even do anything. So this race, he did do something. So Anthony Napolitano just said, you know what, I'm gonna get to the lead, which is fine. I I don't mind that at all. I don't. But we still the type of horse that it's just how he is. He likes to be near the front. So this I don't mind at all. And the most important thing here is that he didn't break. Right here, I'm kind of getting scared. Like, for the love of God, please don't break right here. Because remember, he's broken there a few times. And so we're just hoping he doesn't break right here. And Rob said the same thing. He's like, yeah, he didn't break that first turn, so that was good. You know, here we're in the lead, and this looks promising. This looks very promising right here. Um, but then here's where I don't get it. This Father Stosh 5-1 shot. He wants to get to the lead. I thought we were just going to let him get to the lead, and then we'll sit in the pocket or retake. And you know, I, it looks like the decision was made to park him out. That five horse was, I think, one of the horses they picked to win. So I mean, he wasn't a bad horse, and the driver decided to park him out. I can't. He must maybe Bowie still felt really good. I'm not sure. I'm not there. I'm not going to second guess. But I'm just saying this is the facts of what happened. So we're parking out that horse, 28 and 2 first quarter. 28 and 4 second quarter. So Boiso's not even getting the break. This is his first real race back. Um, First real race back because the last week didn't even matter. The last race didn't even matter, and he's just under assault. So the five is he parked out the five the whole time. Then this eight comes, and the eight's a really good horse too. And then he's fighting off the eight. Right now he's it's 27 and 1, so he's really like just trying to keep this thing together. And then right about here, you're like, oh, is he gonna get this thing done? Right about here, he starts kind of running out of gas, and you know this race reminded me of, and he still held for fourth. He still held for fourth. So with all that, he still held for fourth. That reminded me of the My Hunter race when My Hunter when he was just coming back at Saratoga and he was trying to wire the field, and then he actually finished sixth place where he got really tired at the end. Same thing. You know, would it have been nice if Bowisto was like Invictus and my goodness, his first race back, he wires the field by 20 lengths. Yeah, it would have been amazing. But it looks like Bowisto is more like Mindhunter, and he's just taking. It looks like he might just need some race. Like that race, I bet you he's all sore and everything because he hasn't done something like that in months. So he just might be a horse that needs to keep racing to get back into form. He's in the box today for Plain Ridge. Today, Monday, Plain Ridge Thursday. So that's where he's going. He's going to Plain Ridge on Thursday. Bigger purses, hopefully easier competition, and we'll kind of see how it goes. So we'll look forward to that. That's Boeastel. Uh, Checking out the talent. Well, that's the new import, which we haven't announced yet. We will get that announced. He's a really nice one. Looking forward to him getting here and seeing what he can do this summer. So, like I said, those are down and unders. You're like kind of like rolling the dice, and you gotta take a shot. There's a reason why a lot of people import them, and one of the biggest reasons U.S. dollar is really strong versus the Australian dollar, so you can actually buy the money goes a lot farther over there, so you can buy quality open type horses or better um, than it would cost to buy them here. So easier said than done. It's not that easy. If life was that easy, we wouldn't work for a living, but that's what we'll get him announced at some point too. Enola, uh Enola, we'll just do Enola real quick. She was in the Open, the Philly and Mare Open trot at Yonkers, and Enola last year too. I mean, she's not doing anything different than she did last year. She's the six horse. She just somehow keeps drawing the outside every single time. Don't get me started. I don't know how, but I think I forgot. I got to pull up the numbers, but we'll do it another time where it's insane how many outside posts she drew this year. So anyway, those five horses inside her are extremely good horses. So she's there. There's really no way she's gonna get to the. She's getting to the lead. There's no way she's getting to the lead from there. So those all horses on her inside are excellent, excellent quality trotters. So we have to come off the pace, which is fine. She's very handy. She can do it all. She can come off the pace and she can jump to the front. That's why trotters like her are so nice because when we draw inside, she can really defend her post position. Um, so there she is in the back, and that three is the horse to beat. Lutz Hanover. She's just a really good horse. And then that five, I thought that's payback money. The five, that was that 1-9 shot that we faced the other time in this level, and yeah, I thought she'd be a big player too, but I think she has a mishap later. But anyway, yeah, there's nothing really to look at here. This is how it goes. When you got six horses like this and racing for 39,000, everybody's just trying to, they're just trying to get a piece. And you don't want to walk out of here without a check. So they're all in this is Yonkers racing. They're all just racing in order. And finally we see the three making the move, and that three is really good. Um, and that one thankfully starts backing up a little bit. And then that five breaks. Payback money. She breaks. Yeah, that was huge. But, it pushed us back a little bit. We lost some ground when she broke right in front of our face, but that's okay. Enola still was coming at the end, and thankfully that one starts falling back too. And Enola, she just slowly but surely catching up to them. And at this point, you definitely want to beat that one. Try to get fourth here, and you kind of hope that four backs up, but that four looks like she still has something going too. So at this point, just trying to beat that one, and thank the Lord. Look, because that one actually had more left, but thank goodness, right here we finally get a photo. Somebody mentioned that to me, like, man, we finally win a photo. I'm like, yeah, we were due. Although Invictus got the dead heat, so that was winning a photo. But yeah, Nola, she was excellent. She good fourth place check, over 3,000 for that, and she will be in. We entered her for the trot this Thursday, the Philly Mare Open trot. It did not go. It did not race. So we're gonna try again on this Friday for Thursday next week. She's raced 5 weeks in a row anyway, so she she deserves a little week break anyway. She's been racing really well. So she'll be in the box on Friday for Thursday next week for the same Philly Mare Open trot. All right, that's Nola. For whom the bell tolls, she's training well. So big news with her is she will be in the box tomorrow to qualify on Wednesday, the 15th at Pocono Downs. So for whom the bell tolls, you're hearing it now. She's ready to go. She'll be in the box tomorrow to qualify on Wednesday the 15th at Pocono Downs to begin her 3-year-old season. So they do show the replays on YouTube. So um, just keep that in mind. I think it's like PHHA, uh, Pennsylvania Harness Horse Association shows them on their page. So let's hope for some good luck. And remember, the first qualifier is usually boring. It's usually Rob just sitting there and not even trying. It's usually the second qualifier that you actually see her like make a move and stuff. So, but the key is she's qualifying on Wednesday the 15th, Pocono Downs. All right, Gretzky the Great. So Gretzky the Great, we got an update from Rob, and basically basically with Gretzky, he was very close. I think he went in like 2:14 or something like that in his last training mile. Um, After the mile, he had that leg that he's recovering just was a little bit tender, and Rob just for precaution had it checked out by the vet, and the vet basically said it looks like the fibers in his legs are just kind of recovering. It's like a baseball player who breaks his leg and then takes off his the cast, and then like it still kind of hurts a little bit because it's like recovering and it's building up the muscle again. So that's what it was with Gretzky. So the vet said he gave him another shot, the same shot injection that he got the first time when he got the injury, just to help it heal. And basically, we're just gonna he just needs to be swimmed, so no track work, swim for the next like 3 weeks or so, and then probably he'll only get some track work right at the end before he qualifies. So it's a little bit of a setback, and that he'll probably it looks like he's probably gonna qualify more like you know, mid to later May, versus in April, just because we just want to make sure, like, you don't want to push it with that leg. You want that leg to heal properly. Um, so that's the story with Gretzky. We'll send an email out to the Gretzky guys at some point too, with more detail on that. But but yeah, so he's been coming along well. It's just a little bit of a setback. It's not a big setback, just a little bit of a setback. So it looks like it's going to be more like mid-May to later May. And then when he does come back, though, we're not going to play around. When he comes back, we're going to put him in some low claimers, and the goal is that he can just run off like win, 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 and then keep winning, and then all of a sudden someone claims him. So um, that's going to be the plan. We just got to get him back first for that. So that's Gretzky the Great. Uh, and like I said, we'll email out the Gretzky the Great owners, hopefully today if we get to it. Um, so that's that. Invictus, he raced at Meadowlands, and he actually was the betting favorite. I don't think he wasn't the morning line favorite, but he was a morning line second favorite. And here he is right here. He's from the four post. That was a scratch. And um, here it looks like he actually might have a chance to actually get to the front. Um, yeah, I thought he actually might get there, but it looks like the decision was made to retreat and come off base instead. I think I can't fault it, not driver, but yeah, I think that might have did us in. That might have did us in right there because now he's sitting sixth instead of still fighting with these guys to be to get to the lead and stuff like that. Now he's sitting sixth on the rail, and this is he's on a bump up. He's up a level. I mean, he's the favorite in this race, but he's still up a level. Um, and it's just tough. So he's sitting here sixth, and there's really not much you can do at this point. I think the seven right now starts coming out and forcing him to already go outside. And the problem here, the one horse, I thought the one horse was for sure going to go first over. He just sits there. The six horse, who's 8-1, you thought I would think maybe there's a chance he might give us some cover, but he sits there, and you can't really see it here. It goes in um 55 and 4 first half. And now Braxton is just kind of like, you know what? I'm not getting any cover. I'm first over from sixth. Like, I got to do all the work. I got to do all the work in this race right now because I got no cover. Finally, this nine comes out at the end. He's in the two hole, so it doesn't even matter. And at this point, Invictus just went basically uncovered for half the mile, and he still finishes well. I kind of wish, he's a horse that kind of you gotta get into him for him to go to that next gear. And it looks like he finally does get to that next gear, but then there's no place to go. So I think that seven comes up and just nips us right at the end for fourth place, and we barely missed out on third. But he raced well. He actually got a bigger trackmaster rating than the horses that finished fourth and third, meaning he did all the work, which is what we saw. So he'll be in the box again for next week on Saturday at Meadowlands. And yeah, we gotta hope for a better trip. You're not gonna win. You'll almost never see horses win first over from sitting sixth at Meadowlands. You're almost never gonna see it. So unless the pace is so crazy in the beginning, you're never gonna see that. So he actually did a pretty good mile himself. Nothing we can do. Um, just Rosa's luck. She is in to go today, the 13th at Monticello. So we'll see. We'll see how she does. She has a seven post. Um, I have a feeling they assigned her to seven post, but they don't really say. So we'll just kind of see if she has to come off the pace, she comes off the pace. It all depends what Mike Merton thinks is the best way to go. Memento Mori, let's get him. Let's get his replay. Memento Mori, he just has. I mean, he's actually been doing pretty well. He just got no luck. No luck, meaning he just draws these ridiculous races. It's like the first race where we put him in the 40 claimer. He had like two monsters in there that were both claimed and immediately taken out of the claimers and put into like the open, the open trot and stuff like that. And then this race, it this was the hardest non-winners 5,000 I've ever seen in my entire life. I think the race ended up going 155 and 3. It went faster than non-winners 10,000, non-winners 7,500, non-winners 15,000. It went almost as fast as the Philly Mare Open Trot that Enola was in. Like I think a second slower. So there he is right here. He's the five horse. He's like I said, he doesn't really have the um blazing gate speed. He has like very average gate speed where he can defend his position. So with Memento Mori, it's really all about his draw. Like if he draws one, two, three, he can defend that position and he'll be sitting one, two, three, or four, you know, at the half and make a move. When he's sitting, when he's got five, six, seven, eight, he's almost never going to be able to blast off and get to the front. It's just how he is. So there he is sitting fifth. You know that Sunday Shoes is a Paranglam horse that they just brought from Canada, and he had a monster qualifier at Yonkers before this race. So I knew he was pretty good. That's why some of the people were like Memento More. I was like he's in tough. He's in very tough. So let's just hopefully he can do well. So they went 57 and 1. I actually thought that was good for us. I thought we were gonna, maybe see a 157, 158 mile after that. And this three horse did not stop. And then that four makes a move, and then Memento Mori follows him. And that four was really good, by the way. That four is racing in non-winners 10, non-winners 15, non-winners 20,000 at Yonkers. He just somehow dropped all the way down non-winners 5. That six comes in with Brian Holland and takes over our spot. So right now it looks like we actually might be a little screwed a little bit. And it looks like that six might actually take take our check. But Memento Mori, he finished great. That one, yeah, it would have been nice to pass that one, but that one's a good horse, and he had plenty. All he did was sit the rail the whole time. He didn't do anything. So um, we were gaining. We finished strong. I think he went in this mile went in 55 and 3 was the most ridiculous awareness 5,000 history of mankind. Um, um, let me just show you just what I mean by that, just so you can all see why you can't just look at a race and just say, oh, he came in fifth, and then that's it. So if you see, these are the races on Friday. So this was the other nine non-winners 5,000 that raced that Friday. It went at 58 and 1, and the other horses went at 58 and 4. Okay, 58 and 1, and then so 58 and 1, 58 and 4. Okay, our race 55 and 3, and we went at 56 and 2, which is the fastest mile we've ever done on a half. So that just goes. Our race went almost 3 seconds faster than the other non-winners 5,000. Just to give you a little bit of a clarity or comparison. Non-winners 15,000, or this is non-winners 15 and non-winners 10. It went at 56 and 3. So Memento Mori went faster than non-winners 15,000. So so that just gives you a little idea like how ridiculous that race was. Non-winner 7,500 looks like our old friend Skybox won 56 and 1. So we were comparable to that race, you know. Uh, and so yeah, look, this is the second time that Maury has drawn versus monsters. The first race in the 40s he did, and now in this race he did. That happens at Yonkers. There's really good horses there. So just gotta hang with it. He's doing well. He's targeted for the 40 claimers on Thursday next week. So the 23rd. So the draw is on Friday for Thursday next week, the 23rd, the 40 claimers. Um, hopefully we draw inside and hopefully we draw a decent field. So that's that. Mine Hunter, he raced. Let's go to Mine Hunter. Oh, we got a lot of races to go through. Uh, Mine Hunter, he had the 5 hole, and now one is a 10,000, which is very talk about drawing a difficult race. He also drew monsters. He also drew monsters. So, you know, going in, it was kind of like, it's like what's the chance of that? He keeps drawing these horses to deal with. Thank goodness that one broke. So we were sitting, I think, fourth or fifth at the half, and my hunter's really sharp right now. He is really, really, really sharp right now. So he's like I said with Beaueastel earlier, my hunter, it took him a while to get in form. He was not he did not come out the gate like this. It took him like at least a good month of racing to get like this. But man, he's vicious. So here he's sitting fourth, and I like what the driver does. The he parks out that six, who's the favorite or the second favorite, and that six, he made $100,000 last year. That's a really good horse. That six. Um, yeah, I thought the six would. I actually thought he was good enough that he can be parked out the whole time and still kind of be in it at the end, because I just I know that that horse is really good, and yeah, we were just sitting fourth the whole time on the rail. That Tayuga Devil is or Tahuya Devil is really good. These were all really good horses. Big Boss, the Big Boss A is a really fast horse. So right here, the driver has a decision, split decision. Go follow that six or stay on the rail. He went and followed the six, who was gaining on the leader, but then almost immediately, once he went out to follow the six backed up. So yeah, I can't fault him. I When I was watching this live, I thought this is why I'm not a driver. I actually thought the six was gaining, and I was like, oh, you know what? Yeah, let's follow that six. And hindsight is 2020, which is our favorite phrase. That six was going nowhere. And I'm surprised he backed up like that because I thought he was a lot better. And uh, we're making the move right here, and um, that two. That two is very good. Like, some people were like, "Oh, if you didn't follow six, then you would have passed that two." I don't look at that two. That two is nowhere near done. That two is about to, you give that two 10, 20 more feet, he might actually be up there near those guys. I don't think we're gonna get past that two. So, yeah, it's just a tough race. So, and my hunter, I think he went in like ridiculous, like 53 or 54 and something. I think he went like a 55 and change back half. So he's he is really sharp right now. He's in he is in the box tomorrow, I believe, or Wednesday for Monday or Tuesday next week at Yonkers in the 50 claimers. If he doesn't get in there, or he'll go in the 40 claimers. He's so good right now. So we'll see. It just His next step up would be now more than 15,000. And could he compete? Yeah, he could compete, especially if he draws inside. But he can he can do some damage in those claimers right now. So that's my hunter. Um, who we got left? And then we got Ship's Revenge. So Ship's Revenge, I got a text this morning from Allie, and she said that the ultrasound is looking pretty good. Meaning they ultrasounded her yesterday, and it's looking like she's finally showing signs that she can get bred. And so they're just gonna check her again the first part of next week. So today is the 13th. So the first part of next week, so probably a week from today. And then hopefully, if it continues to show those signs, then we're gonna breed her. So this is just how it goes. She also had a little temperature. Um, like I think she had like an over 100 temperature, but she wasn't showing, but she was like eating and everything and looking normal. So she's fine now. But they're going to just monitor. She got antibiotics, and they're just going to monitor her just with that temperature. But breeding wise, we're hopefully keep our fingers crossed that hopefully next week is the week to breed her. So that is Ship's Revenge. Soho Skyfall, he is in to go tomorrow at Monticello. We were going to do Plain Ridge, but the Monticello should be easier. It should be. Although there's so many claimers in there, like people jamming in 15 claimers in there that I don't even know. When I say jamming, meaning they might jam like really good horses that might have some sort of like injury or something, but they're still really good, and they jamming them in there, and it's like makes it harder than it should be. But he got the seven post, so my guess is we're gonna come off the pace again. Let's just hope that there's no chaos in front of him, and the goal for him is just to make money and win out of Monticello. The goal is we want him to do so well that we can win out of there. Once he wins out of there, then there's options with Saratoga, Yonkers, Tioga, Plainridge. So we just want him to show us that he's back. And then once he's back, show us he's back, which he has been showing signs. We'll get him out of there to the big back to where he belongs, the big boys. Um, but so that's Soho Skyfall, and last but not least is our friend Uncle Rat. So um, I don't really have on the computer. We don't have him up yet, but we will get him up. So he's a 4-year-old trotter. Um, and he's a gelding trotter by Uncle Peter. He's Ohio bred. He shipped in here, like I said, a few days ago on Saturday night. He shipped in, and he's in the barn. He will be in the box on Wednesday, 15th. He'll be in the box on Wednesday from Monday to 20th at Saratoga. So he's hitting the ground running. So he'll be in the box Wednesday 15th from Monday at Saratoga. He still fits that Invictus race, that winners over two, non-winners over five. He still fits that Invictus level race. So that's where he'll go just to get just to get his feet wet. And yeah, we'll announce him and give him the details, but yeah, there's no reason why he can't be pretty good. Yeah, I'm not saying he's the greatest thing since sliced bread, but he's he was so good that he's got a chance to be pretty decent for us. So let's see how that goes. But yeah, he'll Uncle the worst name ever, Uncle Rat. He will be in the box Wednesday for Monday at Saratoga, um, and we're excited to get him going, and Rob's excited to get him going too. So anyway, that being said, this is a video update for last week. Hope you all enjoy the next week, and as usual, take care and good luck with the horses. Thank you.